Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I am bringing you a book review for Can't Spell Treason Without Tea by Rebecca Thorne. This is a new cozy fantasy book that literally came out today on the day that I'm filming this video, but you're not going to be seeing this video until the 24th, I think. I was very kindly sent a copy of this book in exchange for reviewing it as part of the blog tour, so yeah, very excited to be talking about this book in this video. As soon as I heard about it, I had a feeling that it was going to be my kind of thing. It's been compared to Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry, so that was kind of a buzzword for me. It also has a sapphic relationship and dragons, so all of that together made me feel very excited to pick this up. And what I thought was really interesting about this book is that it follows two main characters. It's dual POV, and these two characters are in an established relationship. So I think at the start of the book they had been together for around 2 years. Rain is part of the Queen's Guard of this one country, and then Kianth is the most powerful mage in all of the land. So they met at court, around 2 years ago, and they've been keeping their relationship a secret because the Queen of this country is not very nice. At the start of the book, Rain decides that she's had enough and she decides to run away with Kianth, and they decide to set up a bookshop. That's always been their dream that they've been speaking about for the past few years, and they decide to finally risk it all to follow that dream, even though by leaving her post, Rain is essentially committing treason. So that's kind of hanging over them. It's in the back of their minds as they're moving to this small town to set up a bookshop that's also a tea shop. The town that they decide to settle in is called Tawny, and it's a really unique town in the sense that it's located on the border of 3 countries, including Dragon Country. So I think it makes sense to first of all talk about the dragons in this book, because that might be a reason why some people are interested in it. It was one of the reasons why I was interested in it. And what I will say about the dragons in this is that they are wild animals, so they are important to the story because this town of Tawny, dragons have been wreaking havoc on this town for generations, really. They are intelligent, but they don't speak directly to humans. They live in this one area, and that is their realm that they're very protective over. So I'd say that the dragons are part of the world building, but they're not characters in themselves. Speaking of the world, this doesn't feel like it's rooted within any particular time period. It has more of a historical type feeling, but the characters still use modern slang, for example. They fight using swords and their homes are made out of wood or stone, but it all feels very fluid. As I said, this follows 2 characters who are in an established relationship, and I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about that, because whenever I read a romance within a fantasy setting, I usually love seeing the tension between the characters when they meet initially, and I enjoy seeing them develop feelings for one another. So I wasn't sure whether I was going to miss that in this book. However, what I found really interesting is how, because this couple are already in an established relationship, you got to see how they overcome obstacles together, having already had history with one another. So for example, both of the characters have insecurities initially. They've never lived together before, and I thought that was handled in a really interesting way. There's also things that they're having to deal with individually. For example, Kianth is this super powerful mage, and there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. So she's trying to balance that along with maintaining her relationship with Rain. Just to set expectations as well, this has 0 steam. It is not in any way spicy. It's much more cute and wholesome. The dialogue felt really warm and witty, although sometimes it kind of edged into cheesiness and it felt a little bit corny. So that was one of my main critiques. However, generally this did feel like a big warm hug in a book. I think if liking characters is something that's really important to you, then this does have characters that you can really root for, and I really liked the side characters that we meet as well, who also live in this small town. Kianth also has an animal companion who's a griffin, and I thought they had a really cute dynamic as well. As I said, this has been compared a lot to Legends and Lattes, by Travis Baldry. However, I would say that the coziness in this story comes from the small town setting. The stakes don't feel as low as in Legends and Lattes. The plot isn't just about these characters starting this shop, it's also about this political situation within this town. There's a few different countries that feel like they are responsible for this town, and that causes a little bit of conflict. The obstacles that they're having to overcome and navigate aren't just related to this tea shop, if that makes sense. A book that I read recently that I would compare this to is Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. Even though Nettle and Bone I would describe as more of a quest fantasy, this I think has that similar upbeat tone where it's very character focused, but there's enough going on and there's enough like action scenes that it feels like it's moving along at a steady pace. This is the first book in a series, so there are some things that are left open at the end, and I'm assuming that the sequel is going to continue those plot threads. I had a quick look at the synopsis for the sequel to this, which is called A Pirate's Life for Tea, and I think that's just amazing. Basically, from what I gather, that follows the same main characters from this book, but it's a pirate type theme. They go on a quest, and apparently they also end up playing matchmaker to this enemies to lovers type situation. Sounds really intriguing, and I did really enjoy this first book. I feel like I haven't actually said that yet in the review. I really liked this. I gave it 4 stars, and I am interested in reading the second book. I think it comes out in October. So yeah, I guess to summarise my thoughts on this, I would recommend this if you're looking for a fantasy that has a sapphic relationship and a cosy setting with just a hint of adventure. I would really recommend this. I think it could really work for you. It's been a really long time since I've done a video where I've literally just sat down and reviewed a book by itself, so this feels really strange. But let me know in the comments if you are interested in this book and if you're thinking about picking it up. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and click subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me, but otherwise I will see you next time. Bye!